just a month or so ago. Also lookalike remotes, MyKeysPro, and how the information for lookalike remotes now resides within our MyKeysPro website and app. And then, like I say, any questions you might have, feel free to jump in to the chat or raise your hand, and I think Travis will call you out, and we can answer anything that comes our way to the best of our ability. So first and foremost, Smart Pro Lite is our newest offering in the Smart Pro line of programming devices. It is built and based on the same hardware platform as the original Smart Pro. The biggest difference is our target audience for a Smart Pro Lite is generally going to be a beginner that's just getting into the automotive side of the business, or someone that's looking for a secondary or backup tool. Smart Pro Lite is not quite as capable as the full-fledged Smart Pro. So it is not a tool for the guy that is 100% in automotive. It will be more of a backup for that kind of customer. The main thing on Smart Pro Lite is you're no longer required to purchase tokens, UTP, which is what we call our subscription service, or software modules. All you have to do to operate Smart Pro Lite is purchase Ilco lookalike remotes or Ilco transponder keys. Each one of those lookalike remotes or transponder keys will have a QR code printed on the bag. And then within the MyKeysPro app, your Smart Pro Lite is attached to your MyKeysPro account. There's a feature inside of MyKeysPro that says scan QR code. You scan it, and you can convert it into a token for your Smart Pro Lite. So just by using Ilco lookalike remotes or transponder keys, that is how you gain your tokens, your usages for the Smart Pro Lite. So our application list for the Smart Pro Lite is based 100% off of lookalike remotes that we offer and Ilco transponder keys that we offer. So if we do not have a lookalike remote or transponder key for a specific application, it will not be on the application list for Smart Pro Lite. But the good news is, if you've been keeping up with Ilco lookalike remotes for any amount of time, we are constantly growing that line. As a matter of fact, we just introduced 26 new remotes last month. As a result of that, we've already added 32 new vehicle applications to the Smart Pro Lite since we launched it. So it's actually more capable today than it was just a month ago. And so that will continue to grow over time as we add new lookalike remotes or a new transponder key. Whatever vehicle applications they apply to will automatically be added to Smart Pro Lite. Smart Pro Lite comes with 1 year free update, so you get full use of the machine. And then after the first year, there's a $150 per year annual update fee. And basically what happens there is you will not get, if you don't pay the update fee, the machine will still operate. If you have tokens preloaded to it, you'll be able to use the machine. You just won't get any of the new updates we add to it. And you'll also lose the ability to scan QR codes and convert them into tokens. But that's really all the update fee is for. And we felt like $150 was very affordable for this kind of product. So really, what we're doing is the usage and everything are tied to the Ilco lookalike remotes and transponder keys, and that's really what drives everything on the Smart Pro Lite. We do have a web page for Smart Pro Lite. We have a brochure. We have a PDF form of an application list. We have frequently asked questions. So if you run into anything, all of that is on the website in downloadable documents. They're also in the MyKeysPro website and app. So pretty much everything you need to know which year, make, and model is there. We're actually in the process of adding into MyKeysPro a section dedicated specifically to Smart Pro Lite, where you don't have to filter through anything. You'll be able to choose Smart Pro Lite, year, make, and model, and see if that application is there. We have a lot of videos And we're actually starting to have new videos that are dedicated specifically for Smart Pro Lite applications, where you'll actually see grabbing the key, scanning the QR code, converting it to a token, and then going your make and model and actually using the device. Um, we do have a video now to show that process, but it stops after you convert from a QR code to a token, because at that point, the device operates exactly like an existing Smart Pro does. But we're going to start adding more and more videos showing the entire process. If you buy a Smart Pro Lite, and you're a beginner or you're using it as a backup tool, and you find out that I want to convert this, or can I convert this to a full-fledged Smart Pro and get access to everything Smart Pro is capable of, we do have an upgrade option. And basically, you're just paying an upgrade fee, which is basically the difference in price between a Smart Pro Lite and a full-fledged Smart Pro. Once you convert it, though, to a full-fledged Smart Pro, you're no longer required to use Ilco lookalike remotes or transponder keys. You can use anybody's keys. You would have to, at that point, purchase a subscription or purchase tokens. It basically turns exactly into what it is, a full-fledged Smart Pro. So scanning QR codes goes away when you do that upgrade, but that upgrade is an option. Any questions or comments so far on Smart Pro Lite?
Yeah, actually, there's one comment that Lisa was saying that she's had an issue where QR codes wouldn't scan.
Okay.
What is
So,
what do they do in that situation?
okay. Lisa, what you can do, if we had a human error uh, back when we first started the Ilco loyalty program and putting QR codes on our product, and someone internally duplicated a database of QR codes, it it will show you an error message that the QR code has already been redeemed. If you run into that, you can call Advanced Diagnostics Tech Support. They will send you a new QR code via email. So you will have it in just a matter of moments that you can scan right off of your email, and it will give you the uses that you need. Or you can contact me directly and I can send you out replacement QR codes. That human error was fixed pretty quickly, but there is inventory out in the field that we could not call back. So once that inventory rotates off of the shelves, that problem will go completely away. But in the meantime, our tech support people do have the ability to get you a QR code replacement in a matter of minutes.
Sorry,
And
Todd. So who was it that they reach out to? Is it the tech support or is it
yeah, Advanced Diagnostics Tech Support.
okay?
And like I said, they have it right at their fingertips. They can have them a new QR code. They won't even have to leave the job. They'll get it within a matter of minutes.
Okay. That was the only question or comment that's come up.
Okay. How Smart Pro Lite works. This is, like I say, we've got a video for this, but just a quick slide. You will go onto MyKeysPro, and like I say, there's a section there that says scan QR code. You'll scan the code on the bag, and at that point, it will take you into it gives you the option, because we have the Ilco loyalty program as well. If you own a Smart Pro Lite, it will give you two options. Do you want to accumulate a loyalty point, or do you want to convert it into a Smart Pro Lite token? You choose at that point, and you'll say convert to Smart Pro Lite token. Once you do that, it will then reference, if you see in the bottom left picture, it will reference the serial number for your specific Smart Pro Lite. And this is a test unit we have here that you see, and I had scanned and downloaded 33 QR codes. Once you do that, you hit the redeem button. You'll get a message that says coupon redeemed successfully, and you will see that token number or coupon number increment up by one, and that will let you know how many you have. Then on the device itself, when the device is connected to the to Wi-Fi, that process is seamless behind the scenes. It will automatically load the tokens to the device. Then you just go to the My Smart Pro icon, and you can take the tokens from the bank, put them right on the tester, and you're ready to rock and roll. Any questions on that process at all? All right. And really, those are the main differences between a Smart Pro and a Smart Pro Lite. Um, hardware, capability, not capability, but functionality, how it operates, your make and model driven, and then following the prompts on the screen. All of that is the same. It's basically how you're fueling the Smart Pro Lite versus how you fuel a normal Smart Pro. Smart Pro Lite, again, you just have to use Ilco consumables, the look-alike remotes transponder keys. And once you do that, everything else is pretty much the same. If you have seen or operated a Smart Pro before, everything else on that device will look completely the same to you. It's just a matter of how you're getting the tokens onto the device. Now, jumping over to Ilco lookalike remotes, because these kind of go hand in hand, and this has been the lookalike program has been a very, very popular product offering for Ilco over the past several years. We are now up over 500 SKUs um, and have new SKUs in process. I've got over 70 new SKUs that I'm working on right now. So this number will grow consistently year after year. As long as OE manufacturers are coming out with new keys and proximity remotes and remote keyless entry, we'll be able to grow our line as well. The major thing about Ilco's lookalike remotes is they're all brand new, nothing refurbished, um, and they have no logos. So they will look identical to the OEM product minus the OEM logo, which when I say I've got over 500 SKUs, the absence of a logo does make it a little more SKU friendly. For example, if you had a Chrysler product, there could be the same remote with a Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram logos. You would have 4 SKUs for basically the same item, just with different logos on it. So obviously, the Ilco lookalikes not having a logo helps alleviate the SKU count a little bit, but we are definitely proud of the range that we offer, and getting it to grow even more as time goes on. Um, everything we have is FCC certified. All major manufacturers are covered. And again, always working on new SKUs. How do you find your Ilco lookalike remote? Which one to use? This is one of the bigger questions that I deal with on a daily basis. Um, because when you have an aftermarket product, part numbers don't always align, obviously, with the OEM product. FCC numbers don't align. So inside of MyKeysPro, there's in the catalog section, you see here, there's a section called Vehicle Keys and Remotes. You would actually click there, and then it would open up to a page that will basically show you every single automotive key and remote that Ilco and Silca offers. Now you can go into your preferences and filter on and take Silca out, and it will only show you the Ilco product. And then you can go down and type, and you can select proximity and remote and hit apply. And at that point, it will only give you actual lookalike remotes, proximities, and remotes. It won't show you regular transponder keys or anything of that effect. So you can go in, your make and model, pretty much like everything else is driven. You do your search at that point, and it will bring you. So I did Ford Explorer. I did not put a year. It's going to bring you every possible option we have for a Ford Explorer. If you put in the year, it will narrow that search even more. But it's only, as you can see, it's only returning lookalike remote results. No transponder keys, no standard metal head keys or plastic head keys. Because of that filter of proximity and remote, it's only returning those kind of results.
Hey, Todd.
Yes, sir.
Um, Hold on, brother. I got to go back in here. Looks like number one, Dan, can you throw me a thumbs up if Todd just answered your question? Looks like Dan was looking for asking if we're building a better site for searching your make and model, but I think you just went into it with the MyKeysPro. Lisa's asking you to show again how you got to this part of the menu. If you
Okay.
don't mind backing out of MyKeysPro, if I'm right in Lisa's question, she says, "Show me how you got to this again, please." And then
Okay.
Dan, throw me a thumbs up if he took care of you on this or something, please.
Okay. So when you open MyKeysPro on the home page, you'll see up here in the upper left where it says menu. You'll click menu and there will be catalog. Once you click catalog, this is the screen you will see where you can look at all keys or residential keys. You can look at key machines and programming equipment. There's just a ton of stuff, even Ilco cylinders. I'll give Mike Phillips a plug. You can even see his cylinders and Peaks products
Yeah.
on this main page. But for our purpose here today, you would click on vehicle keys and remotes. It would then take you to this page here, which is going to show you pretty much everything we offer. And then you start narrowing it down by filters, almost like Travis was showing you on the banner website. With filters, you can narrow the search down. Under the type section, you can see emergency keys, flip keys, but everything Ilco lookalike remote falls under the proximity and remote section here. If you click that and hit apply, it then narrows it down to only Ilco lookalikes. And at that point, all I did is once I had that filter in place, I went year, make, and model. Then you just perform search and it will give you the results of that search. On this particular screen here, I had removed the year. So it would show you pretty much every Ilco lookalike remote that we cover for Ford Explorer. You put the year back in, hit search again, it shrinks that results down even further for the specific year you're looking for. And when you're on this page, real quick, as we add new remotes, you can see right here, there's just a little red new. That's how you can tell if they're new to the line. And that's just on the search results and on the home, the main catalog page. The new stuff is always at the top with this little banner showing that they're new. But once you click on a remote, and I kind of went to Hyundai instead of using my Ford search, but once you click here, this is where the important information is. So I basically here, I just click on this picture, then it's going to open up this page here with a lot of relevant information. Number one, it's going to show you the model and year range that it covers. And then it's going to show you the frequency of the remote. It's going to give you the OEM part number as a cross reference and the OEM FCC number as a cross reference and the battery size. I can tell you if you've been doing lookalike remotes for any time, we had an existing website called ilcolookalike.com that was great website, very user friendly, but it was lacking some information such as frequency, battery size. That site it still exists, but it is no longer being updated. The webmaster for that site has decided not to update it any further. So we have incorporated everything into MyKeysPro along with additional information that hopefully you guys will find very helpful. But the main thing to always remember is OEM part numbers and OEM FCC numbers, to me, are the primary information that you need to make sure that you're choosing the right Ilco remote for the year, make, and model that you're looking for. After that information, frequency can become important because if you've been around, you know there can be two remotes that look identical, and one could be 315 megahertz and one can be 433. So that frequency information there will also help you in making sure you're choosing the correct Ilco remote for the specific vehicle that you're working on.
All right, Todd, I'm going to jump in here again.
All right, go for it.
From Dan gives me a response to the question and answer. He says,
Okay.
Mike, and I'll give him my answer. And then if you want to chime in, Todd, with something a little better, certainly
Okay.
please do. Dan says, my counter folks don't use MyKeysPro, need website in addition. I think you just talked about the website that we really don't have any longer for it. And Dan, when you say my counter folks don't use MyKeysPro, I think the kind of quotation question is don't use or won't use. MyKeysPro is free. There is a paid version. that really gives somebody an awful lot of benefits if they're programming cars. It gives them videos on where to plug in and all that kind of stuff. So it's very helpful, the paid version. It's about $10 a month, so it's not a lot of money, but it's not mandatory. You don't have to do it. There is a free version, and they can have their own. We call it they call it an account. It doesn't cost any money, so I call it a profile. They can all get registered on MyKeysPro and have that. So I don't know if that answers your question or not with don't use or won't use MyKeysPro.
Well,
Todd, I have a question from you. Want to chime in there? Or?
Yeah, I do. I want to chime in on that too.
Okay.
I don't know if this is the issue here, but I can tell you there is a misconception. MyKeysPro is not only an app. There is a website, MyKeysPro.com. So if you have an account, you have access to the app on your mobile device, but also the website. So if you go to MyKey, and all of my screenshots I'm showing here are actually from the website, not from the app. So I don't know if that helps Dan at all. That he was thinking that it was just an app, but I know in talking with others in the past, there's a misconception that that is only an app.
Okay. Thomas asks, is Ilco going to offer replacement flip blades and emergency keys for their remotes? Apparently Chinese. That's fine. Thomas, Ilco, if they make a flip key, whether it's for one of these remotes or otherwise, we have those and have always had those. It's going to be just in the catalog, or you can call your rep or call your banner salesperson. We can get replacement flip key blades, no problem. But Todd, I want to make sure I understand. I don't know if you can see the questions. Is Ilco going to offer replacement flip blades and emergency keys for their remotes? How would you have an emergency? Educate me on emergency key for remotes.
So in a proximity fob where you just get in and press the button in the car to start the car, there's always a key hidden inside that fob.
That's what he's talking about.
That's the emergency key.
And we have those.
And we have introduced a line of emergency keys. We don't have them for every single option. But yes, we have started adding those to our product offering.
Would you find that in MyKeysPro anywhere? Is anywhere for someone to find something like that?
If you go under that filter I was mentioning a minute ago, instead of choosing proximity and remote, there is an emergency key filter right there.
Okay. All right. Thank you. And then Lisa says thank you. So she's good. Paul says sometimes we see the same year, make, model with different FCC codes. Can we order the same remotes with different FCC numbers? I don't think I understand that one. Do you understand that one?
I'm not quite clear on it, but I can tell you
different FCC codes.
Say this. Read that again to me. I'm sorry.
Sometimes we see the same year, make, model with different FCC codes. Can we order the same remotes with different FCC numbers? Maybe Paul, if you want to ask that again or rephrase that so we can get it. Maybe he's just asking if that's relevant. Will you see a different FCC code on the same year, make, and model rig?
Absolutely. If you got a split year or something to that effect, or for instance, if Hyundai and Kia is notorious for it, if it's one remote might be a 315 megahertz and one might be 433, and they look identical and is for the same year, make, and model, but when that frequency changes, the FCC number will also have to change. But can you buy one with different FCC numbers? If that's the I don't think that's possible. If there is a difference between the remotes, and when you see different FCC numbers, there's some kind of technical difference between them. They can look identical, go to the same year, make, and model. It could be a frequency difference. It could be the software that's written to the electronic board that's different, or it could be components on the electronic board that makes it perform differently somehow. Different FCC numbers generally mean there's something different between the two numbers and the two items. So I think if you see something different, it would require two separate remotes depending on what that car is asking for. I hope that answers it. If I can expand any further.
Yeah, Paul says, so it sounds like the split year may be the answer. Okay. Let's see. We got a few here, Todd, so we'll go through them.
Sure.
Thomas says, I'm wondering why the lookalike site is really starting to suck. I think we addressed that. Lisa, how do you know which frequency? Lisa says, how do you know which frequency you need to use? I don't think there's anything in the guided process to tell you which one to use.
Lisa, for honestly, I have a little frequency tester, and Advanced Diagnostics sells a frequency tester. I can tell you it's an older device and it doesn't read the newest 902 megahertz frequencies. But usually, if I'm unsure of the frequency, I just pull out my little frequency tester. You just hold the fob up to it, press lock, unlock, press any button on it, and it will display the frequency. Now, if you don't have an existing key, if the customer has lost all keys, obviously that's not an option. A lot of times, what I would do then is have the owner of the vehicle contact a dealership where they can prove ownership, and the dealership should give them the OEM part number, and that OEM part number will direct you straight to the correct frequency. Based on if you choose, if you look at that 95440-S2200 for the OEM part number for this particular Hyundai key or Kia key, it will be 433 megahertz every time. So if they tell you that's the part number for that car, the frequency won't come into question. I hope that answers that one.
Okay. We have from Matthew Bernard, can I bank tokens and then use them to program an OEM remote key?
Technically, yes, you can.
Okay. That's what I thought. John
we
Payne,
would much prefer you using the Ilco, but yeah, you can bank.
Please do.
You can bank tokens.
John Payne, that is simply because OEM. Okay, I think he was trying to help answer a question.
So, yeah, I think one thing
False.
I want to chime in here real quick, kind of on what John is saying here about the OEM FCC. One thing I just want to make sure is clear that the Ilco FCC is different than the OEM FCC.
Oh yeah, and I got a slide to touch on that in a minute too.
Okay, all right, so we'll get to
But
that.
no, but you can go ahead. I want to make sure people are crystal clear on that because that has been a big point of confusion for a lot of people.
Right. Yeah. So you'll get to it. We don't need to do it right now. So
okay.
Jesse Martina, up to what year does the programmer go to?
2023, 2024, just depending on specific,
Just depends on
applications.
What the manufacturers have given us.
Yep. If I've got a key for it and we can program it, it'll be up to current.
Frequency. Yeah, I think that's it. Lisa asked. I think Lisa's just clarifying again the FCC or frequency number, and if you've got something on that, yeah. And then John's I think is confirming on the TPMS tester. So okay, I think we're good, man.
Okay.
Y'all, if I have missed any questions, please forgive me. Just copy and paste it again, and we'll get to it. I apologize if I missed anything. I think I got it.
I want real quick on that TPMS tester. So, I think you can use the same frequency tester to test the TPMS sensors, and then whatever frequency those are putting out would be the same as the vehicle remote.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
Okay.
Annika, can it do the new model Ford Proxys 2022 to 2023?
Unfortunately, at this moment, there is not an aftermarket tool on the face of this earth that will do the newer Fords. I might when I'm not saying if, I'm saying when we're capable of doing that, I might even pay for a billboard in Times Square because whoever comes out first with that one is going to hit a home run. But I can tell you, we have engineers working on Ford every single day. And we're hoping that we are closer than we've been so far, but I can tell you this Ford software, according to our engineers, has proven to be the toughest software they've ever tried to engineer. And the proof being the only thing you can use right now is the Ford tool. So there's a lot of smart people putting out, programming software, and nobody's cracked it yet, but we feel confident that we're on the right path.
Dan asks a question, will Ilco AD be offering API access to MKP to distributors so they can provide lookup on their commerce sites? take a few steps out of the ordering process.
You have completely left my
Yeah.
area of expertise on that.
Yeah.
So I can share
Travis
a
could
little bit
probably
on
answer
this.
that.
So
Yeah.
API would mean that it's like a direct live connection.
Right.
And, I don't know that we would get to that point. Ilco obviously shares year, make, model information with Banner so that we can update our information. We've recently filled out the line for lookalike keys, and we're still doing work to get all that year, make, model information set up correctly on our side so that we're displaying all the keys when you do that year, make, model search. So
okay. Appreciate all y'all and your questions. Go ahead, Todd.
Okay. The other thing you can do inside of MyKeysPro, it'll be on the left side of your page, you can search by OEM part number, and you can also search by FCC number. All you have to do is in that field, punch the number in, hit search. If Ilco has an equivalent, it will bring you back the results. And generally, by part number, there will only be one result, because you can't have two variants of the same OEM part number. So like that, for example, that's a Ford OEM number there that I put in. We have an equivalent for that. It will bring it up, show you that initial screen with just a little small picture of the key and the part number. Then you click on that and it opens up all of the other information we were just showing. When you search by FCC number, there can be multiple options with the same FCC number that work on different year, makes, and models. They can look slightly different. So there can be more results when searching by FCC number. OEM part number is the tried and true way of doing an exact cross-reference to what Ilco offers. But we try to give you the options to be able to cross-reference multiple ways when you're doing your searches. And kind of touching on now what Travis was mentioning just a minute ago, if you look in this picture of an Ilco lookalike bag, down on the very bottom, I've highlighted in yellow, that is our FCC part number. So that part number means absolutely nothing towards year, make, and model applications. The only reason that is on that bag is because it is required by federal law. Because it is an aftermarket product, we have it FCC certified to make sure it meets all United States regulations and certifications. And when you do that, so if you don't do that, number one, you're breaking the law by selling product that's not certified. Number two, you have to display that FCC certification number either on the part itself or on the packaging. Unfortunately, that causes a lot of confusion because it means nothing. So that's why inside of MyKeysPro, we have the cross references to the OEM part numbers and the OEM FCC numbers, because their information is what's important. Our information on this FCC number is completely irrelevant, other than I wouldn't perform well in prison. So we're going to follow the law on that one, and that's the only reason it's there. Any additional questions, KJ? You're muted if you're.
Sorry, I was on mute. So Matt, yeah, this is the next one. Matt had a question. What is the plan with NASTIF?
Okay.
I didn't realize I was muted. Yeah, I just said it took 40 minutes. You know what the question is. It took 41 minutes to ask about NASTIF. So go on ahead.
Okay. So as far as advanced diagnostics is concerned, we have not been contacted by NASTIF. And we are very much paying attention to what's going on with NASTIF. We have our corporate attorneys involved of whether it's something that we legally have to abide by. And from everything we can tell, it is not, as NASTIF is not a government entity that we can see. But they have not contacted us about participating. So as of this moment, we're business as usual. Nothing is changing on the Smart Pro or the Smart Pro Lite. Obviously, we'll pay attention to it because if somehow it becomes federally mandated, we would obviously have to comply. But until there's any compelling reason, we're going to continue operating as we have been.
A couple things here. Can we get a copy of the presentation to share with colleague staff? Of course, Travis. I guess if you have everybody's email, you can forward that out, right?
Yeah, I certainly could.
Okay.
Also, this webinar is being live streamed on YouTube, so you could go to the Banner YouTube channel. You could watch it there. But then, Todd, if you're comfortable with us emailing out the presentation, I could certainly email it to the attendees.
Yeah, there's nothing here that
Okay.
that I'm uncomfortable with sharing.
Okay.
John Payne, I don't think you guys pushed your FCC approval enough. You are literally the only, all caps, only aftermarket keys that are legal for sale. It's interesting. Your own K2 AOM FCC ID prefix is unique in the industry. This makes you and another competitor of Ilco's the only keys that are actually legal to sell. It is a $2,000 fine for selling or offering to sell a transmitting device that is not FCC approved. That's interesting. Thank you, John.
Yeah, and you're probably right. We don't, we do tell people, we put it on our literature, but we probably don't bang the drum on that one enough. But yeah, it's a big deal to have it FCC certified. It's not an easy process to go through on each and every SKU that you offer. But that's the one thing with Ilco Advanced Diagnostics and being a part of the larger Dormicaba group, we actually have corporate code of conduct that we have to abide by, which even restricts vendors we can use. So if a vendor is not legit, offering legitimate front, stuff out the front door, we cannot buy it or use it. So that is, you're right. I think we probably should highlight that a little more. And I appreciate that feedback.
I know you've got a hard stop at the top of the hour, Todd. So if you want to go ahead and roll on, I think we're okay for now.
Okay. Matter of fact, this is my last slide. If mouse will behave. There you go. I just wanted to point out the Ilco loyalty program, which is also tied to the QR codes that are on our bags for Ilco lookalike remote. So this will be growing. When we introduced it, it was you scanned a QR code on Ilco loyalty remote. I mean, not Ilco loyalty. I'm sorry, an Ilco lookalike remote, and you got a $1 credit added to your account that could be used for the purchase of a UTP for a Smart Pro. Coming in the next few months, we are expanding the Ilco loyalty program, where the QR codes will now be on transponder keys, which they won't be worth $1. They'll be worth $0.25 each. They will also be on some of our metalhead, like 50-pack boxes. They will be on our rim cylinders or mortise cylinders. I can't remember.
Yeah, they're going to expand it.
I don't know the difference between a rim and a mortise cylinder because I'm an automotive guy, but I know they're going to be on one of those too. But
you really don't?
They will. I do, but not enough to talk.
Come on, man.
Not enough to talk intelligently about it. But anyway, we will be adding QR codes to more Ilco product, so you can accumulate more Ilco loyalty points. And we will also be expanding the product you can use the points towards. It will not just be UTP anymore. It will be token packs, key cutting machines. It will be a growing program that we're doing for Ilco loyalty.
Matthew Bernard, the package, I don't know which package. The package says requires Ilco programmer. Is that the way with all the keys or remotes? So I'm not familiar with that.
So there's printing on the bag that basically, if it's a transponder key, it says, you got to have a programmer to program this key into the vehicle. Or if it's a clonable key, you got to have a cloning tool. I don't remember who brought that question up, but
Matthew.
But Matthew, basically, we put Ilco because, obviously we're pushing Ilco product, but you can use Our keys are programmable with anybody's devices. So it's not tied to an Ilco device. That is just when the people put the information that's printed on the bags, they reference the Ilco or AD tool.
I have a question. Thank you. I have a question from Lisa. Lisa Jones has a question about MyKeysPro. Under
Okay.
guided processes, there is a section that asks you which Smart Pro to use, and then a send button with ready to send commands. Can you explain what this does? Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, you can.
So if you have a registered Smart Pro to your account and your Smart Pro and your MyKeysPro are connected to Wi-Fi, if you go look up a specific year, make, and model inside of MyKeysPro, and that is the vehicle that you are going to be programming a key to, you can select your serial number of your Smart Pro and hit that send button. It will change it will take your Smart Pro directly to the menu of that year, make, and model, so you don't have to look it up again on your device. So if you look up that 2019 Ford Expedition on your MyKeysPro, and that's the car you're working on, pick your serial number, hit send, your Smart Pro will automatically jump to the 2019 Ford Expedition menu. So you're there ready to just connect to the vehicle and go. That is only from the website right now. That is being added to the app pretty soon. But yeah, that's and you can also do the same thing for a Futura key machine. If you have a Futura key cutting machine and they're both connected, you can do the same thing. If you're looking up your make and model, you can send it to the Futura menu as well. That way it takes you right there to where you're ready to start cutting the key. Keeps you from having to repeat step, look it up, your make and model here, look it up, your make and model there. It just kind of streamlines the process a little bit for you.
Dan asks, what happens if someone selects the wrong Smart Pro or Futura and sends to an active machine? I guess nothing.
Nothing really happens. I mean, if they're connected, the menu screens will jump to that on that particular machine, but they have to be connected to the same account, number one. But if you do it, you can just go back to the drop-down menu and choose the correct serial number and hit send again, and it will send it to the correct device you're intending it for.
Lisa kind of gives it. She says thanks for the answer, and then she mentions. She says, "I know there's an aerial tool that you can use with the MKP app." So I
Yep.
thought that was related to the item. I think that's probably the Smart Aerial Plus, huh?
Right. Smart Aerial Plus is basically there was an existing Smart Aerial. Smart Aerial Plus is just a second generation of that. So it will do everything the existing Smart Aerial would do. And it will also clone, but you drive the cloning process through MyKeysPro. But everything is driven right out of MyKeysPro for that cloning process, so you don't have to send any information back and forth. They're automatically connected. MyKeysPro and the Smart Aerial Plus are connected via Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. I'm sorry.
I think Dan comes back a follow up to his question about sending the job to an active machine. He says, I'm worried about being in the middle of programming or cutting. I think but that's just going to go to your queue of jobs. It's not going to like literally interrupt what you're doing.
Yeah, it will not interrupt. Once you are actively in the process of cutting or programming, it won't send the information back and forth. It's going to finish the job that it's doing first.
Dan says, thank you very much. I don't have any other questions right now. So we're caught up on questions.
Okay. If you got anything, you can reach me through Kevin or Travis. I'll be more than happy to help you in any way I can. But yeah, we're excited about all of these, the products we went over today, and continuing to expand. As I mentioned, 70 new lookalike remotes are in process. So every vehicle that those 70 new lookalike remotes will work on will be new vehicle applications on the Smart Pro Lite. So every time we add a remote or a key, that application chart on Smart Pro Lite will grow.
The Smart Pro Lite, as a sales guy, I mean, course, like you talk about putting Ilco on everything, we want you to buy Ilco. But I still have to say, in just being a guy in the field, you know, who walks into folks' shops and talks to them about, of course, Smart Pro Lite, you know, the most commonly, whether it's a trade show or anything else, the most commonly heard feedback, besides you guys are doing a good job taking care of me, is the cost of tokens. And so now when I go into a shop, and I walked into one in Houston a few weeks back, and a longtime customer, he says, you know, I'm going to hit you with. I said, what? And he said, cost of tokens. I said, well, guess what? You use our remotes? Yeah, of course I use your remotes. Well, dude, your tokens are free. And of course, the record scratches, you know? And so I was going to say earlier, when we were on the call earlier, I would venture a guess half of my Smart Pro Lite sales are to existing Smart Pro customers. Like you said, they're using that Smart Pro. The Smart Pro comes, of course, fully equipped with, can do every vehicle we can do. But that Smart Pro Lite has a big place in the marketplace because, again, just by scanning in the QR code off of our remotes, which you're probably already using because they're awfully popular, you're getting those for free. That's a big deal. So, a couple more questions, it looks like, to wrap up.
Yeah,
Travis, you got something? Or
no? There were. Dan asked a follow-up question about the. He said, when will loyalty that we mentioned about the transponder keys be active or available?
We are working on the marketing materials now. So it's just a matter of when our graphics people can finish up the marketing materials and get them back over to us. I would say I'm hoping, and this is not under my product management, but I'm thinking probably the next 60 to 90 days at the latest. But yeah, it's in the marketing department's hands and should be happening fairly soon. And then
Lisa,
I see. Go ahead. Sorry.
oh, I'm sorry, brother. I cut you off. Go ahead.
No, you're fine.
Lisa, when you say they're not free with a key purchase, if you're talking about what I mentioned, if you're when I said the word free, you're buying the lookalike remotes, you're already using lookalike remotes, or you're selling those, or you're programming those, you're making money with those. If you have a Smart Pro Lite and you scan that QR code in, every QR code you scan in for use on your Smart Pro Lite is worth one token. So there's not going to be any associated cost there. And maybe that's Dan's question, but not on the full version. I don't know what that question means, Lisa, but not on the full version.
Yeah, that's actually Dan's question and Lisa's are kind of, I think, one and the same. So yeah,
the only on the Smart Pro Lite.
Yeah, only on Smart Pro Lite will you get a free token for every lookalike remote you buy. But don't, I might be saying too much. Don't rule out there being a promotion soon where you can, for a full-fledged Smart Pro, you might be able to get a token or two for buying some lookalike remotes.
Yeah. Smart Pro
erase that part of the recording, Travis.
Yeah. the Smart Pro today is unchanged. The full-on Smart Pro. Buy tokens, buy software, whatever you like. The Smart Pro Lite is the only unit, is our brand new unit that utilizes the QR codes straight for tokens. That's all part of that whole platform there. So for clarification, I hope that cleared it up, and I apologize if I confused anybody. Todd, you got to go here in a minute.
Yep. Yeah, I was going to say we should wrap it up because, Todd, I know you have a hard stop here. But thank you guys very much for your participation, and we love all the questions. So thank you for all the questions that came in.
Absolutely.
And again, we will share out the presentation. And if you wanted to go back and just review this or share it with any of your team, you could go to the banner YouTube. The live stream will be there. So, but yeah.
Thank you guys very much.
Take care.
Yeah, we appreciate y'all very much. And again, it's the meter's running for all of us. The clock's ticking, and you guys taking this time out of your day, guys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, taking time out of your day to spend with us. We appreciate it. And I don't know if our contact is on any of this stuff, but anything any of us can do to help you guys, we'll sure do. So thank y'all very much for your business.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Take care.
Okay. Appreciate
Thank
y'all.
you.
Be good.
Take
Bye-bye.
care, everyone.